The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be popular in the US because Americans are easy to please, according to Prince Harry's royal relative Christina Oxenberg. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will find success in California because what draws scorn in England will be applauded in the States, according to one of the Duke's royal relatives. Christina Oxenberg, a socialite and daughter of Princess Elizabeth of Yugoslavia, a second cousin to Prince Charles, weighed in on the couple's move to Santa Barbara in an article for the British magazine Tatler. Possibly too much is expected by the Brits from England's one-time most eligible bachelor and his actress wife, Oxenberg wrote in the magazine, according to the Daily Mail. To be adored in America, all Harry and Meghan need to do is pick up a dog from a shelter, she added. Americans are easy to please. What draws scorn in England will be applauded in the States. Oxenberg added that American journalists are likely to treat the couple very well, which would be a stark contrast to the Duke and Duchess relationship with the UK media. Harry and Markle have struggled with the press ever since their relationship went public in 2016, and the former actress even said friends warned her against dating the prince because of the tabloid intrusion. My British friends said to me, "I'm sure he's great, but you shouldn't do it, because the British tabloids will destroy your life," Markle said in an ITV documentary last year. Earlier this year, the couple cut off all contact with four major British tabloids, The Sun, The Daily Express, The Daily Mirror, and The Daily Mail. In a letter sent to each publication, the Duke and Duchess said no longer want to offer themselves up as currency for an economy of clickbait and distortion. They relocated to Santa Barbara, California, earlier this year after previously spending time in Canada before they announced their departure from the royal family. Prince Harry may be already toying with the idea of renouncing allegiance to the Queen in order to gain the right to vote in the U.S., a royal expert has claimed. The Duke of Sussex shocked many fans by wading into the world of politics, a tricky topic for members of the royal family to navigate due to their neutrality. But since Harry, 36, is no longer a working member of the firm and is settling into his new life stateside, Victoria Arbiter said his political speeches may be a warm-up for one-day voting in U.S. elections. The royal expert pointed to Harry and Meghan's recent video urging U.S. citizens to exercise their right to vote in the November 3 presidential election. If the short clip shot for Time magazine's Time 100 special, the Sussexes encouraged reluctant voters to have their say in the face-off between Republican Donald Trump and Democrat Joe Biden. Writing in honey.9.com.o, M's Arbiter said, "I don't doubt Harry's desire to be among those heading to the polls. As a newly minted California resident, he's personally invested in the election's outcome in a way he never will have been before." Despite being a foreign national, his first presidential race since moving to the U.S. may well feel like the most important election of his lifetime. Presently forbidden from exercising his right to vote, it remains to be seen if he's prepared to renounce allegiance to the Queen in order to one day have a say in the country he now resides. M's Arbiter, whose father Dickie Arbiter is the Queen's former press secretary, dissected Harry's wording in the video. She pointed out that while discussing the fact that he cannot vote in the U.S. because he is not a citizen, he used the term "this election." She suggested this could be a hint that the Duke plans to have that fact changed by the time the 2024 election comes around. In the clip, Harry said, "This election, I'm not going to be able to vote in the U.S. But many of you may not know that I haven't been able to vote in the UK in my entire life. While members of the royal family are technically allowed to vote, they choose not to out of respect for neutrality. If Harry does want to vote in the U.S., he would need to be a citizen of the county. This would require him renouncing allegiance to the grandmother, the 94-year-old Queen, and vowing allegiance to his adopted home. Taking the naturalization oath of allegiance to the U.S. states, men and women are required to declare, on oath, that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen." They must also pledge to bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law and support and defend the Constitution. Millions of Americans are gearing up to watch Mr. Trump and Mr. Biden battle it out for votes in the final week of campaigning. Vice President Mike Pence's close aides tested positive for COVID, sparking fears he would have to isolate for the remainder of the campaign. His spokesman said late on Saturday that Mr. Pence and his wife had tested negative. The White House said Mr. Pence would continue as normal on the campaign trail. Asked why Mr. Pence was not following U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention guidelines to quarantine for 14 days after such exposure, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows cited the vice president's status as essential personnel.